I can't believe it! I can fix that.
I know.
Know what?
Your dog is alive!
You can't tell anyone. Promise?
Promise.
Victor brought an animal back to life.
With lightning and boom and
You know, over the years, Tim Burton has lost a lot of his followers and has had critics kind of turn against him, and a lot of his fans have started to doubt him. But everyone is saying that his new movie, Frankenweenie, is the film that will bring you back, that will make you love him again. I think I might just be too far gone. I don't know if it's just... I don't know. We're talking about Frankenweenie today, and I've got Michelle here with me.
Hello.
And we've got Jackson on the other end of the line.
I'm here to ask the questions.
Yes. All right. Because otherwise it would be a very boring... I don't know. This is one of the ones that me and Michelle, I think, are going to disagree on some, so this one will be interesting. But yeah, Frankenweenie, it's the new film from Tim Burton, new stop-motion animation film from Tim Burton. In fact, it actually was one of his first films, a short that he did, and live action. And now, so this is basically him remaking his own piece.
Yeah, he always wanted to do it like stop motion, like do it a full length, but he wasn't able to do it at the time, so he just made it like a short full live action movie, and it's like that now he's going back and like, you know, making his vision come true and everything.
Wasn't it true that he was actually doing that, the live action one they did? Wasn't it true that he like did that like on Disney sets using Disney's equipment without them knowing it when he was working there?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's why I always heard that. Basically, he was just like hauling the cameras out of the studios at night to go and shoot this short for himself. But yeah, now tables have turned. Now he's got this whole studio working for him. And Frankenweenie is the story of a boy, Victor Frankenstein, who lives in a small town. What was the name of the town? New Dutchland?
Or New Holland.
New Holland, that was it. He lives in New Holland, this little white picket fence suburban neighborhood. It's one of those weird kind of neighborhoods where it looks like it's the 50s, but it very well could be modern day, because like they make reference to things like Pluto no longer being a planet, you know, weird little references like that. But it's about Victor Frankenstein. He loves science, and he loves his dog, Sparky. And one day, Victor decides to try out for the baseball team, hits a home run, and Sparky goes after the ball and doesn't come back. He ends up getting hit by a car, and so Victor decides one day that, you know, he misses his dog. He wants his dog back, and his parents are trying to tell him that, oh, the dog lives on in his heart, and Victor ain't having that. He wants the actual dog back. And decides, hey, I love science. I know science. Use science. So he uses science to bring his dog back. And everything goes well up until other people start to find out that that Frankenweenie has arose. That Sparky has come back. To start off, I was watching this film, and, you know, over the years, I've just kind of gotten tired of Tim Burton kind of, like, hitting the same tropes. Like, the entire neighborhood of New Holland, really, it would remind me of so many other neighborhoods that Tim Burton has set his films in. And, you know, I was sitting there just kind of like, I just don't really know what it is about this that's just not sitting right with me. And then there comes a moment where you see his next door neighbor is this fat guy who can't stop eavesdropping, and I went, I know I've seen that in other Tim Burton films. I know I've seen that in so many other films, period. It's like such a trope, and it made me kind of feel like, God damn it, Tim Burton, I've seen this! I've seen this movie! This is not... And I just kept sitting there for like, you know, the first, I'd say 45 minutes of this film. It's like barely an hour and a half for at least the first half hour, for at least the first half of this film. I was just sitting there, just not hating it, but just sitting there going, God damn it, Tim Burton, you did it again! You did it again to me! I keep coming back. But I don't know, that might just be me. I think a lot of other people kind of watched that, and I don't know if they enjoyed it, but I think that it was more of that return to classic Tim Burton, and for me, that was the problem. It's that, you know, I like classic Tim Burton, but I like classic Tim Burton back there. I want Tim Burton to move on and give me something new, and so I think that's why a lot of critics were liking this a lot more than I was. because to me, Tim Burton always seemed like the kind of guy that he must have grown up in a white picket fence neighborhood just like that, and just hated it, and just hated how normal it was, and it seems like his majority of his career has been him kind of trying to strike out against that. So every time that I see him do that in one of his films now, it just kind of strikes me as, alright, Tim Burton, we get it. You were angry at your parents, or angry at your neighbor. I don't know what it is, but we get it. However, there comes a point in the film in which the science teacher, played by, oh god, who played the science teacher? Martin Landau. It was played by Martin Landau, yes. Who does a fantastic job with it. There's a moment in which the entire city is getting mad at Martin Landau's character named Dr. Rice Krispie, which I love. And they said, well, let's hold a town hall. Let's hold a town hall and let's give him the chance to actually talk about it. And he comes up to the stage, and he gets up there, and the town is angry at him, and he just stands up there and says, the reason why you do not understand and appreciate science is because you're stupid. And then he goes on this massive, and the moment he said that, like, I've been slumping in my chair the entire time, just going, God damn it, there's Dredd, Looper, there's so many other films I could be watching right now. The moment he said that, I just perked up and went, wait, what? And then he goes on this massive rant about how people who hate science are dumbasses, and how they don't understand. I went, that is what Tim Burton should be doing. This is him still attacking normalcy, still attacking the thing that he doesn't like, that just bland, gray normalcy of life. And this is him attacking it, but in a different way, with a different voice, and a different approach. And it's like that, you can still do what you want to do, but in very different ways. And from there, after that point, I was really enjoying the film, because after that, the film completely changes from being like, just this little boy and his dog thing, to being a real tribute to all those classic Universal Studio monster films, and pretty much any other monster film. Mm-hmm. There's even a Godzilla reference in there. And I was really digging that point. So from the second half of the film, I was absolutely falling in love with it. But yeah, just that first half of that film, I couldn't stand that first half. But yeah, the second half I totally enjoyed. Michelle, you've been quiet. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, the first half was kind of slow, but then again, is there really much you can do after, bringing your dog back to life? I mean, you get to see, Sparky escapes, like, the attic, and he goes on, like, this, goes around town on his little adventure, and it's cute and everything, but it's like, you can't have the entire movie based on that. That's what the short was about. So I understand why you don't really like the first half, because it pretty much was like the short, and like not much really was happening.
It wasn't so much that it was slow and nothing was happening. It wasn't that. It was the same flavor that I had gotten from Tim Burton over and over again. Because I think this stuff was happening. Like, to me, this is another thing that I didn't really care much for in the film. It's that this is a very bare bones film. You could not cut a single scene out of this film. And normally that's a compliment to give to a movie. Normally when you say that about a movie, you're saying, oh, they made every scene count. But this, it's almost like looking at a car, and the car's got 4 wheels, an engine, a steering wheel, and a seat. And that's it for the car. It's like this, like every single scene was important to the story and moved the story forward. But, like, it was just that. It was, like, just enough to do that. I didn't get any, like, flavor from it.
Yeah.
Really, except for that Tim Burton flavor that was coated all over it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. And yes, it does, like, get a lot more, like, interesting, like, when everyone, like, finds out about Sparky coming to life, and they try to bring their own dead pets back to life as well, and everything, and shit gets fucked up. But, like, another scene I really enjoyed was when Dr. Rice Krispies, he was
that name still makes me laugh.
he got fired, and like Victor, oh yeah,
he gives Victor goes out there and just asks for advice.
And it's like I love it. It's like he says science is not just like part of the is not like just facts. You also have to like put your heart into it, and I believe that goes for anything, because if you don't put your heart in something, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. And spoiler alert, that's kind of the reason why everything got fucked up. So
well, that's not so much of a spoiler.
I know, but
I know,
but I think that's what like life is about. It's like it's both heart and facts that you have to like go through life, and it's like a balance between the two.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it does have good scenes like that. But yeah, it's really a lot of, aside from just that Tim Burton flavor, which the first half is nothing but, it was just a lot of, like I said, this was just bare bones of a script. Because, like, we mentioned when Dr. Rice Krispie leaves, any other film would have had him come back. And he doesn't in this scene. I kept kind of thinking, it's like, that guy really should have come back. It's like, that was very brief, what we did with him. And, like, Victor's got, like, this neighbor living next door. And I kept going, yeah, a relationship is going to form there. And they kept kind of, like, hinting at, but then nothing actually happened.
No, but the dogs got together.
The dog does. That's more spoilers, yeah. Well, that's not spoilers. That's in the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's, and once again, very, it just feels like this film needed, like, another 15 minutes to put more stuff into it.
Yeah, but, like, what would you have put in it?
Well, like I said, more Rice Krispie, more with, Victor and the girl next door. I mean, like, the girl next door, everybody kept talking about, oh, it's Winona Ryder coming back to work with Tim Burton. I missed the first 5 minutes of this movie. And when I walked into the movie, the first thing I saw was Victor having to look at cat poop, which I don't know if that might have changed my opinion of the film.
It's like the first 5 minutes. It's like the same as the short. Like Victor was showing his parents the movie he made starring Sparky and everything, and then like they cut to the next day, and it was like school, and that's when they introduced Dr. Rice Krispies and. Because their original science teacher got struck by lightning and died, so... kids were saying, like, oh, there's a lot of lightning because of the windmill, and another kid said, oh, there's a lot of lightning in town because of the cemetery, and, like, a bunch of other things that and that's sort of... that's another reason why it's, Yeah, like you said, every scene has importance, and that little...
it explains a lot in there.
The talk about the lightning explains why there is so much lightning available for Victor to bring Sparky back to life, and for the other kids to bring their dead pets back to life.
Well, yeah, but me missing that didn't really...
I know, but it's...
add anything to it. But yeah, it was like the point I was trying to make was that, like, you could definitely have added a lot more between Victor and the girl next door, because the girl next door is played by Winona Ryder. Everybody was making a big deal about how Winona Ryder was coming back to work with Tim Burton. She has maybe 2 scenes in the movie, but, like, those 2 scenes, they're trying to hint that Victor and her have something in common or something that they share, like some kind of connection. But, I mean, it's like they do not have nearly enough moments together to get that across. What do you think of the child actors? Because they use a lot of child actors in this film.
I liked them. I thought they, played their parts well. Kind of. I don't know. It's like...
I like the fat kid who was played by the fat kid from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But aside from that, I didn't really like any of them, in my opinion. I think that the kid who plays Victor could be good, except I don't think they gave him nearly enough to do. I mean, almost all of his dialogue
That may be, like, what the big problem is with the movie. Is, like, they don't give the characters
there's
enough...
not enough for each person to do in the movie.
So I...
I think that the kid who played Victor could be good, except that, like, almost every line he... God damn it. Alright. Except that almost, like, the only lines he has in the movie are Sparky and no! And Sparky and no! Seriously, he says those 2 things a lot in line. Those, like, his only bits of dialogue. But yeah, there was one kid in the movie, though, who I was sitting there going, okay, kind of like that kid, don't like that kid, don't like that kid, don't like that kid. And then there was one kid who... Each of his classmates are kind of, like, based off of another universal kind of monster or something that had to do with him. Like, there's a kid that's supposed to be like Igor called Edgar. which that kid got on my nerves. But there's one kid who is doing a Bela Lugosi impersonation, and the entire time I was going, that is the kid who I like in this movie. That is the good child actor in this movie, because that is exactly what Bela Lugosi would sound like as a kid. That is perfect, except there came a moment, like 15 minutes before the movie was over, in which he says one line, and then all of a sudden I went, fuck, that's Martin Short. That's Martin Short playing a child. That is not an actual child actor.
Yeah, that's kind of why you took me by surprise when you asked me about the child actors. I'm like, wait, there's child actors in this
Yeah, there was
movie?
a lot of child actors.
I guess, but
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard to tell, though. I mean, it's like...
The Japanese stereotype kid was an adult. There's a kid in there who is a major Japanese stereotype, and I kind of wanted to be offended by it, except that as soon as you see why they put a Japanese stereotype in there, it was like, I understand.
Godzilla tribute.
That's a spoiler.
Well, how do you not associate Godzilla with, like, a Japanese stereotype?
Well, okay, I'm fine. But yeah, he comes back into play when the Godzilla reference comes in, and then you kind of go, oh, okay, I see why you did that. All right, I'll let it pass. But yeah, speaking of Martin Short plays 3 roles in this, and he is good in this. Like, I didn't really care for whoever was playing the mom, but he plays the dad, and I thought he was decent in that. But he does the best as the mayor and as the Bela Lugosi kid. He does a great job as the Bela Lugosi kid. I kept wondering if they had to alter his voice mechanically with it to get it down to that pitch of being like a child. But yeah, aside from that, like I said, really did not care for the first half of this, but then, yeah, that second half really grabbed me as soon as it started being just a big tribute to Universal Studios monsters. I absolutely love that. So it did leave me on a positive note.
It's just nice to see Martin Short get
work, yeah. Period.
Yes, and not just a voice actor in a kids movie, but like not his stereotypical role as a voice actor in a kids movie, the annoying sidekick or something.
I would have loved for Ed Grimley to have shown up in this movie. Oh, I must say, this is an absolutely terrible evening. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh.
No, it's like usually he plays the annoying sidekick in all these in these cartoons and everything.
You're reviewing Madagascar 3. I don't know. People say he's good in that one too. I don't know. But yeah, I always liked Martin Short. He just never got enough work, and it was whenever he did get live action work, it never went well. But why did I go with Ed Grimley and not Jiminy Glick? That is the go-to Martin Short character.
Or both.
I am living up to my obscure fan title on screen. Yeah, okay, what would you give the film then?
Maybe a B- or something. Or...
I'd go C+. I wasn't enjoying it quite as much, but yeah, that ending did leave me on a high note. I was digging that, at least. But yeah, all right. So that was Frankenweenie, and go see it yourself to determine whether or not you think that Tim Burton's career has come back. Like I said, I'm being particularly harsh on it. Because, yeah, I'm done with Tim Burton. I realized after watching this film, I went in there thinking, alright, this will be it. This will be what makes me love Tim Burton again. And it really didn't. But so many other people who stuck in with Tim Burton longer than I did, absolutely love this and say that it is making them love him again. So, yeah, just remember, take my review with a grain of salt, because I am coming from a very specific place on this. Yeah.
What if you never liked Tim Burton? Is it still worth seeing then?
If you never liked Tim Burton, this is inside Tim Burton's mind. This you can...
I take it you never liked Tim Burton?
No, I haven't seen that. I said I liked Sleepy Hollow. That's all right. But I fucking hate these 2 Batman films. They're abysmal.
The 2 Batman films. Oh, Jesus.
How do you feel about his stop motion work?
I saw half of The Corpse Bride at school once, and I thought it was okay. I thought actually in stop motion, Tim Burton works a lot better.
Yeah,
you can kind of
Burton
buy
is
his
not
ridiculousness.
Tim Burton is not meant to direct live action people.
Yeah, God no.
I need your help.
I asked him first.
My problem bigger.
Yeah, he's right.